Purpose is not a one-time discovery, it's a lifetime awakening. Purpose is progressive. If you don't allow God to reawaken you, you will misdiagnose divine transitions as personal failures. Many people get stuck because they are loyal to expired assignments. People don't know that an assignment can expire. Reawakening is not weakness. It is evidence that heaven is still investing in you. In every career and leadership, the greatest achievers are the ones that don't get stuck in past definitions, but they allow reinvention to become the rhythm of their lives. Yeah, because I usually say to people that purpose is not a destination you arrive at, but it's a daily decision you make in the direction of the will of God for your life. Because people usually get stuck at trying to find purpose. Like purpose is, I'm called to be a mechanic, or I'm called to be a doctor. But I feel beyond a label or beyond a singular definition, it's all about a series of decisions you make. So purpose is not a one-time discovery, it's a lifetime awakening. I would say to you, you don't find purpose once and for all. You awaken to it again and again and again and again. So people come into different seasons in their life where all of a sudden it feels like a former definition no longer fits into the stirrings of the present. And so they are being stirred up to do certain things, or they are getting inspiration from God to be in a particular manner, and they can't seem to fit it into the box of yesterday's definition, and they feel like they've lost purpose. But purpose is progressive. Think of it like a software of some sort. So you need updates to keep functioning. Joseph's purpose was redefined in every season of his life. There was a time when he was a son, another time when he was a servant, another time he was a prisoner, another time he was a ruler, and the next day he's a father of a nation. So imagine if Joseph was stuck at being favorite son. He never would have been able to be the person he was called to be. It was in the mercy of God that God literally shifted his physical location so that he could discover the part of him that was called to be a servant and the part of him called to be a ruler. So when you talk about purpose and you talk about reawakening, if you don't allow God to reawaken you, you will misdiagnose divine transitions as personal failures. And I have seen people do that several times when, the transition is literally divinely inspired by God. So sometimes they have to change relationships or change jobs or, change location, and they feel like, oh my gosh, I failed and that's why I lost this or I lost that. But misdiagnosis is usually the cause of lethargy and stagnation. So don't misdiagnose a divine transition and call it a personal failure, because many people get stuck because they are loyal to expired assignments, and people don't know that an assignment can expire. And so sometimes when I'm building, I tell my team, I'm like, I don't know how long we're going to do this, or I don't know how long I'm going to be the one to carry this. And you just have to get comfortable. If you're going to be reawakened to purpose constantly, you have to get comfortable with handing over certain things, comfortable with walking away from things which you probably built in a season, and you built it with a sense of conviction and strength and vibrance, and all of a sudden you have to walk away from it or hand it over to someone, because there are times when assignments can expire and you've lived out your part and you give it to another generation or to someone else. So Moses at 40 tried to deliver Israel by his strength. He went against the Egyptian and he failed. But at 80, he was reawakened to deliver the people by God. And so sometimes we fail at some things when we try to execute it in our strength, or we thought it was the time and it didn't work. And when God starts to call us back to that same thing, we're like, oh no, it can't be. I tried, it didn't work. But maybe this is the season where God is asking you to go start up that business again, or God is asking you to go reawaken that marriage, or go reawaken, that group of people or that ministry. Reawakening is not weakness. It is evidence that heaven is still investing in you. It's not weakness. It's just a proof that, in the eyes of God, He's not done with you. You have not expired. Heaven still sees you as a profitable venture that heaven wants to, to invest in. The Bible says in Proverbs 4 verse 18 that the path of the righteous is like a shining light, and it shines brighter and brighter, unto the perfect day. So the way to see your purpose is as a light that still has room for further, shining and further brightness. But many times we get stuck at the brightness of our previous light, the brilliance of yesterday's lights, that we don't see that there's a room for brighter and brighter. And many times people get comfortable with the brightness of our light. And when we're trying to shine brighter, it's like, oh, why are you trying to do that? You're good enough this way. But the Bible says you go brighter and brighter. So get comfortable with, increased brightness and brilliance coming out of you. In every career that you are in, every career and leadership, the greatest achievers are the ones that don't get stuck in past definitions, but they allow reinvention to become the rhythm of their lives. After a while, when people look at you, they can just see it is in cycles, and it's like a pattern of consistent reinvention. These are usually the greatest achievers. So if you've ever been feeling misaligned or feeling like God is updating your assignment, please don't resist. Be reawakened to purpose. Come to class and I'll help you understand how you can align again and again and again. And I hope to see you soon as you rise one more time. God bless you.